Hello and welcome everyone to our first session of the Data Monetization Week, Zero to Data App. My name is Zalak Trivedi and I'm a product manager here at Sigma Computing. I've been here with Sigma for about 2.5 years and I lead our product strategy and vision for embedded analytics. With me, I have Ioana. Ioana, how about you go and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ioana Munteanu, and I'm a software engineer here at Sigma Computing as well. I am part of the embedding team, and I have been with Sigma for a little bit over 2 years.
Awesome. Thanks, Ioana. Today, we're going to talk about a very high level about what is Sigma and what is embedded analytics. But then we're going to deep dive into applications and how we are poised really well to take the data applications market. Let's start with Sigma. Sigma is the cloud data business intelligence platform that enables the users to analyze the information at a really high level and also get to the underlying data in a spreadsheet-like interface. We have 5 main tenants. Number 1 being the spreadsheet interface. Number 2, multiplayer BI. If you know how to use spreadsheets, if you know how to write SQL or Python, all of you can actually collaborate on the same workbook and then create insights. You have real-time write-back, where you can bring in any external data that you might have and upload it in an input table, and then you're able to use it and leverage it for any forecasting as well as what-if analysis. You have AI for speed and power. We believe that AI can really solve all of the usability challenges that people have while utilizing business intelligence platform. And then lastly, cloud scale and security. We rely heavily on the security policies that you might have set up in your cloud data warehouse, but then also allow you to create secondary and tertiary level security policies within Sigma for row level security or column level security, or even object level security in Sigma. All of the goodness of Sigma can actually be embedded into your own product. Our partners who use Sigma to monetize the data by embedding Sigma into the platform have really 3 main business objectives in mind. Number 1 is accelerate time to market. It is really crucial to have a product up and running in the market to beat out competition. And with Sigma's embedded analytics, you can do that really fast. We will be actually showing you how easy it is to take a dashboard that you created and embed it into your own application. We can provide a tailored UX with really less overhead. So if you have an admin user or a user that belongs to a particular region, you can embed the same workbook and each of them will see different things depending on what they need to see. You can customize your backgrounds and themes and everything around it. Lastly, it's increased revenue with flexible monetization part. Depending on the maturity of your user, you can allow them to just view the dashboards you've created or do some lightweight explanations or create their own analysis. And you can put this in your pricing plan and then have flexible ways that you can monetize your application. So considering all of this, we believe that, again, Sigma is really strongly poised to help the users build data applications. What we've seen in the market that a lot of companies are struggling to deliver data applications because most tools don't really scale, right? Because they're not built on the cloud, they have limits with row and columns and formatting constraints. And really any processes or workflows you build around these tools cannot be layered with security. Your software that you buy is disconnected from the rest of your data. So you end up buying a lot of tools to have your data in one place, and it really increases the cost of point solution apps. And then if you buy these tools, it is very difficult to customize them to the needs of your organization. This results into low adoption, and then you bought something that nobody is utilizing. You wasted a lot of money. With Sigma, we aim to change all of this. And we believe that building your own SaaS really has never been easy because you can have access to centralized data. You can streamline all of the custom app data into your warehouse. You can use input tables and the way or the mechanism that you can move your data into the cloud data warehouse. You can unify all of your applications in a centralized place. And again, since you are building these applications as a business users, you will have more control of the outcomes. And you can tailor this to your unique business needs. And your reliance on developers would kind of decrease as you're trying to build these workflow-based automation tools within Sigma itself. And because all of this is within one product, you would cut down on expenses. So enough talk. Let's show you how you can actually do all of this today. So a little bit about the demo that we are going to present. The use case here is this is a sales performance portal for regional store managers. We're going to talk a little bit about security, how to set up user attributes and use row-level security. We'll show actions and forms, how you can actually easily collect information from end users, and then also show our input table side-by capabilities. Once we create this app, Ioana is actually going to take this dashboard and put it into her own application. And you will see how seamless it is. All right, so let's switch over to the demo. So let's start in administration. Let's talk about security. So you will set up different teams for each of your user groups, let's say East and West being the most important one for our demo here. And then let's go into the user attributes. What we want to do is each region should only have access to their own data. So we've created a region filter user attribute, and then we've assigned these attribute values that we can pass through URL parameters when you are creating this application. So East and West teams will only see the data that is relevant to them, and then admins will see all of the information. So let's switch over to our precursor to the app dashboard. Here you see some dynamic text. I'm an admin, so I'm going to be seeing all of the data. You have some store information here, orders by month, average store order total by month, active stores, and revenue by stores. I think this is all good, but we want to make it more interactive. So let's edit this and add a new tab. I'm going to add a new tab. Let's call it Admin Insights and Admin Insights. And then we are going to bring in some external data that you might have in some other system. So I'm going to add an empty input table. And then let's say I have found this list of products and brands that I want these admins to have specific insights on. So I'm going to copy paste these into our input table. And I'm just going to call this product list. At this moment, we've written this to your warehouse, and people who have access to a specific input table, they're able to manipulate the information. You can also create child elements here. So let's create a visualization, maybe a pie chart. And then say, give me, let's switch number of brands by product type. Now, if you want admins to add new brands for consideration, let's add an app. Let's add a form to power that. What I'm going to do is add a couple of different text elements where this admin can enter information. So let's bring this over here. Let's call it product type. And what I want is I want the admin to pick from this list. So I'm going to say this is a list of values. And I want to create this list from the product list and use the product type column. And I want the admin to select just one. The control ID is product type. I also want to add another text element, which I'm going to call brand. Then I'm going to update the control here to brand. Let's publish this for now. And then we are going to add another button which captures the information on click. Down a button and move this here. So it kind of looks like a form. And then you can have submit brand as DCT. And now when I click the button, I should take these values and put this in the input table. Let's have an action here that when I click this button, insert a row in this input table. And let's use the formula for product type. Let's select this control. And then same for the brand. And then what I want to do is I want new entries to show up at the top. So I'm going to say, or sort by last updated. I don't want to see this column, so I'm going to hide it. And then I'm going to set these permissions to be updating this input table only on the publish mode. But before we do that, let's try it out to see if it works. I'm going to say computers, and let's say Zalak's computers. It's on the brand, then that shows up. But I don't want this to show up for my users. I'm going to just delete this row for when Ioana as admin editing it. I'm going to set this data entry permissions for publish mode only, save this, and then also set that only admins can access this page. So here, what we've done is created an input table, brought in external data, created some visualization based on some external data, and then created a form which will add information to this input table that you've created, which will also update the child visualization. And then hit this tab from anybody other than admins that only admins can have access to. So what we're going to do is take this and put it into an application, which is what Ioana is going to showcase right now. So Ioana, over to you.
Thank you so much, Zalak, for the demo. Let me share my screen and let's embed the workbook that you created into an external application. So first of all, let's start with this external application that we built. This is an application outside of Sigma, and we will take a Sigma workbook and embed it into this external application. So you can look at it as just your own application, and I'll show you how you can embed a Sigma workbook into your own application. So embedding with Sigma is very, very easy. I will walk you through the 3 simple steps you need to take in order to embed a Sigma workbook. So the first step, it's generating client credentials for your embed. To do so, you need to navigate to the administration panel. You need to go to developer access right here, and you'll create some new client credentials of the type embedding. Let's call this demo credentials. And then I'll make myself the owner. And let's create these credentials. We have a client ID over here and a secret as well. Now we take these credentials and we paste them into our environment variables. We have the client ID over here and whatever secret we have over here. For security reasons, I will not be pasting it. This is step number 1. Now we have the client ID and client secret. The second step is getting the embed paths and signing the embed URL. Let's see how we complete the second step. So to get the embed paths, we need to go to the workbook that we want to embed over here. We go to embedding. And we have this option where we can generate a secure embed path for different parts of the workbook. We already pre-selected the entire workbook over here. So this specific path is going to embed the entire workbook. But if we want, we can decide to embed just a part of the workbook. This could be either a page, the page called app, or it could be an element on the page. Any of these elements could also work. But let's stick to embedding the entire workbook. So now we have this embed path of the entire workbook. We copy it and we paste it in our environment variables. And now let's generate the signed URL. Let's see how this is happening. So we go here, we get the client ID, client secret, and the Sigma embed path that we just set in the environment variables, as I mentioned. And then the second step is to get, it's basically authenticating your users. To do so, we created this function, get user assignment, which is simply forwarding the matching between the emails and the teams that we set up into our authentication provider. This just means that we set this up in the background and you can do the same thing and you can leverage your own users by assigning them to teams. And this way, the users that you already have in your applications can also use embeds. So now we have a match between emails and teams. And Zalak just showed in the previous demo how we have a match between teams and user attributes. And this means that every user will either be part of the East team, the West team, or the admin team. So every user will have their specific user attribute assigned to them because of the assignment between teams and user attributes. Now that we have the email and the teams, we need to and the team that the user belongs to, we need to sign the URL by adding different URL parameters, some mandatory ones, some optional ones, and then add the signature at the end. So in terms of mandatory parameters, we will add the email, we will add the team, the client ID, the type of the embed, and so on and so forth. And in terms of optional parameters, we can add a theme for our embed. For instance, we want a dark theme or a light theme. Maybe we can customize our own theme. So we have a lot of customization options over here in terms of optional URL parameters. We add them to our initial URL, and then at the end we sign the URL with using the client secret and the search parameters. This is the signature we appended to the signed URL, and that's it. The embed that you created is secure. It has the authentication of your users, and it also has the customization of your embed in terms of how the embed looks. This is the second step. We generated a signed URL. And then the last step is taking the signed URL and placing it into an iframe, and then placing the iframe into your application. We have this function signed embed URL. We are using it right here. This is our homepage. We have the embed URL, and we just place it into the iframe. And that's it. In 3 simple steps, you are able to embed a Sigma workbook into your external application. So now let's take a look at how this works. Let me navigate back to the application. Let's log in. I will first log in as a user that belongs to the East team. This is my user that belongs to the East team, and the East team has the East user attribute. And let's see if this works as expected. So as you can see in the title of the embed, we have a dynamic text that changed into East because this user belongs to the East team. So we know for a fact that the user attributes worked. In terms of store regions, we will only have access to the East data. Over here, you can see the East data, so we cannot see any other store regions. This is all the data we can see, so selecting it will not make any difference. And over here, this data, again, is just part of the East regions. This user can, for instance, filter, maybe filter things by month. Let's say last 20 months. 20 months. Right. This way, this user made an exploration. Let's say maybe, oops. Let's say last 20 months. Now we have this exploration. Let's try to bookmark it. I'm gonna call this my bookmark. And we can make this the default bookmark, manage bookmarks, my bookmark says default view. And then when we reload this page will not open with the published version. It will open with the bookmark we made the default by my bookmark, which will automatically open the exploration that we just saved. At the same time, this user can export the data, which is again limited to the East region. And yeah, that's pretty much it that the East user can do. Now let's take a look at the capabilities of an admin user. As you can see, the dynamic text changed to national, which means that we are a user that is part of the admin team. In terms of store regions, we can choose between all the regions in the country: East, South, Midwest, West, and Southwest. Let's choose West and Midwest. You can see the data updating. The same way we can create explorations, we can bookmark them. We can export the data that contains all of the regions. And on top of everything, we have this new page right here that is called Admin Insights that the East user did not have. Let's take a look at the Admin Insights. As you can see over here, we have this input table, and we can try to populate it. Let's say music, brand Sigma music. You can submit the brand. And as you can see, we added one row in this input table, which is basically adding one row into a table in your database. So yeah, that's it. These are the capabilities of an admin. Thank you so much for your attention.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ioana, walking through just taking an application and just in 3 simple steps, having an application ready. I think what we've seen across several hundreds of customers at this point who have used embedding is that it is extremely easy, straightforward to kind of get started with an Sigma embedded product, but then also even easier to iterate on things, right? So you're not stuck onto the version of the dashboard that you have first launched to your customers. It makes it so we make it extremely easy for you to go and iterate and keep on pushing changes to your embedded application without having to worry about things breaking for your customers. So that was it, everybody. This was Zero to Application.